Discerning Hearts provides content dedicated to those on the spiritual journey. To continue production of these videos, prayers, and more, go to discerninghearts.com and click the donate link found there or inside the free Discerning Hearts app to make your donation. Thanks, and God bless.
Discerning Hearts presents In Search of the Still Point with Dr. Regis Martin. In this episode, Dr. Martin reflects on putting a good word in for priests.
Surely the most obvious and unmistakable sign that an institution is in crisis is the fact that more and more people do not know what it exists to do. What is it for? It is the loss of a sense of purpose undergirding the institution that causes its members to stop believing in it. It is when the machinery becomes disconnected from the meaning that drives it. This is particularly the case with the institution of the Catholic Church, which now finds itself increasingly under siege. Why, for so many, has it lost its way? Can anything be done about it? And if not, do we simply chuck the machinery and begin casting about for new meanings to replace the old? Years ago, when I was in the Army, the drill sergeants would say, "We don't know where we're going, but we're on our way," or "Hurry up and wait." As a marching order, it did not especially inspire. Well, does the Church know where it's going? Or is it just spinning wheels? Not really going anywhere, but giving the impression that it's in a great hurry to get there. Here's what I think. That if the Church is to experience a new springtime, if there is to be a sense of renewed clarity about the things we believe, coupled with confidence in those who believe them, then we're going to need good and holy priests, because they are indispensable to the maintenance of the Church's life. Their task is to safeguard the deposit handed down from the apostles, and to instill in the rest of us the willingness to believe and to live it, which cannot take place, of course, in the absence of grace, the grace which they have been expressly ordained to impart. If the Church exists in order to lead men to God, which means living contact with Christ at every turn, then there can be no substitute for a sacramental life, of which they, the priests, are the chief mediators. They are the custodians of the mystery. This is my body, this is my blood. It is not a formula to which laity have access, but only a ministerial, sacerdotal priesthood. The chief, indeed the exclusive exercise of the priesthood is the daily celebration of the Mass, a sublime reenactment, no less, of the sacrifice of Calvary. This is why we need priests, because we need God, who breaks himself to become our bread, the necessary nourishment without which we perish. This is why we also need to love our priests, to pay them the homage and respect that their high calling deserves. If the worship of God is to continue according to the mind and will of Christ, then there must be from among us men set aside for the work of Christ, which is to prolong in time and space God's saving presence in the world. By virtue of his priestly configuration, he becomes alter Christus, another Christ, empowered to bring about that total Eucharistic consecration that will save the world from suicide. Do not simply love the priest for what he does, as if his identity were reducible to a set of functions, but for who he is, ipse Christus, Christ himself. The formula for reform is very simple. The Church exists to bring Christ to the world, and priests are a necessary means to that end. Thus, they and the work they do entitle them to respect, and yes, even reverence. Thanks for listening. This is Regis Martin in search of the still point.
You've been listening to Dr. Regis Martin in search of the still point. For more episodes in this series, visit discerninghearts.com, or you can find it in our free Discerning Hearts app or on many other streaming platforms. Discerning Hearts is a 501c3 nonprofit Catholic apostolate dedicated to evangelization and spiritual formation through the use of new media. To learn how you can support our mission, visit discerninghearts.com.